push through and punch through a vision with passion, a vision with passion.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Purpose by Design podcast. I'm Pamela Hinkle. I am so grateful that you showed up today. And as always, this is a power-packed episode. You are going to be so blessed and empowered today. Today, I have with me a dynamic duo, a powerful set of blonde twins. Well, they're not twins, but they're sisters, but they kind of look like twins if you can see them. Listen, I know these couple of dynamic ladies, and they call themselves Sorella Live, and they're going to tell you more about them in a moment. But I want to say how dear these women are to my heart, how powerful they are, and they are using their God-given talents and gifts to empower women all over the world, really. And we are so blessed to have Sorella Live with us today.
Thank you.
So, take it away, ladies. Tell us all about you and Sorella Live.
Well, for those of you that don't know us, my name is Laila.
And my name is Elisa.
And we are the Cuoco sisters. Elisa, why don't you tell them what sorella means?
Well, the word sorella is the Italian word for sister. And growing up, really, I don't know when it started. Laila and I started to call each other that as a term of endearment. Hey, sorella,
Yeah.
like just calling each other that. And when God began to stir something in our hearts about doing something for his glory together, it was such a natural download into our hearts that we would call it sorella. And we didn't know quite what the ending was going to be, like the tag. But when we started our live show, it just made sense to say Sorella Live. Then it took on a whole different meaning. It was like, you can say it in American, Sorella Live means live with us. Like we are live at every point of our being. We're not fake. We are just living life on purpose and in like a live being, right? We're not hiding anything. We're not pretending. We're not recording. We are live. And it's our lives that we're showing. So
good. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Laila?
No, that was a perfect definition. She said it all.
Perfect. Laila, why don't you share about how it actually, how God dropped this in our hearts?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it started, both Elisa and I grew up in ministry with our father being in ministry. And then, of course, naturally, God just called us. So we both served in ministry during the course of our lifetime. And then there was a chapter in both of our lives where we kind of felt like, well, definitely for me, I was no longer in ministry. Elisa continued to serve in ministry, but maybe not fully to the capacity that she wanted or knew what was in her heart.
More in a support realm.
Yes, more of the support realm. So we would talk on the phone as we always do, and we would share what God was speaking to our hearts about. We would pray together. We would put things on the shelf and say, well, maybe that's for another time. And then all of a sudden one day, as we were sharing and praying, it just like hit us. Wait a minute. We started off early on in years ago in my early 20s. She was a teen where God had taken us and we started out in ministry together.
Yeah, we really did.
We did. And then from there, Rhema, and then we moved forward and then our lives kind of went their separate ways. And all of a sudden it was like God took us and said, wait a minute, girl, full circle, time to join up and team up again.
Right.
And from there, he just starts spilling into our hearts exactly what it is that he wants us to do, step by step. We still don't have the full picture, but step by step, we're moving along.
Yeah. In obedience. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
That is so amazing. So this started really, we won't say how many, but a number of years ago.
Yes.
And now you're back full circle and it's like it's the next.
Yeah. And the interesting part is that Laila and I we live in two separate states.
Exactly.
So we grew up in New Jersey. I'm still in New Jersey, and Laila has transplanted to Minnesota. So we really, it wasn't on our radar to be like, oh, well, we should do something together necessarily. We, maybe dreamed of those days again, but never thought, how could it be? Because we don't even live in the same state. How could that be possible? And it
Right.
just seems like with COVID, God kind of pulled back the curtain from a lot of people's eyes and said, there are some avenues that haven't been tapped into yet that I want you to do. And here is how, right? Isn't that the truth? We see it like
Oh,
those windows of opportunity that were just flying open in COVID, right? And Lyle and I
yes.
we were part of that story. God opened that window of opportunity for us. And here we are
And
in
it
two
doesn't
different
look
states.
anything like we thought.
Right.
We would talk about the past and be like, how could we do that again? How?
Yeah.
But God had something completely different in mind.
And now, mind you, I am a full-time homeschooling mom of 3 living in New Jersey, at home, obviously. My husband works from home, but he's upstairs in his office. And our lives are really full and very busy. And so, and then Laila, I don't want to speak for you, but her life is very full too.
Yes. Yes. I work from home as well. I work with my husband. He has his own company. And so thinking about breaking the old school way of thinking, breaking away and having to travel to another state in order to reach other women, God took it and said, no, right here on the computer, you can do it. We are reaching people in other countries, which is so exciting to hear back from different people reaching out to us and saying, I love your show. I'm in Norway. I'm in Pakistan. I'm in Italy.
Right.
I'm in
Italy.
like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. We didn't have to get on a plane to do it.
I know.
That is an actual testimony of what I have heard called a pandemic praise.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Pandemic praise. How God turned something that, yes, there's been tragedy. There has been many things that have been difficult, but he turns all things around, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Those that love him. And he has literally, Reverend Jen Tringal said, where there were walls, there were going to be windows. And here we are I'm looking through windows right now at you ladies.
Right.
That's
and
the truth.
we are reaching the world. Isn't that awesome? So
it's
really,
exciting.
Sorella Live, although it was full circle for you ladies, it also was something that it sounds like it was birthed and it came out of 2020 and the pandemic. Wow.
Absolutely.
Yes. And now you're doing ministry together every week.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. It's amazing. So God took 2 sisters who teamed up together, and we're just pouring our hearts out into, women and trying to equip them and teaching them to embrace all that they are, to love who they are, to step out with all the giftings that God has placed within them, to step out and live out loud.
Yes.
Not to shrink back, but to live out loud. It's been exciting.
And to create a community for women.
Yes.
Really,
A sisterhood, right, Elisa?
Yes, a sisterhood. That's what we say, come be a part of our sisterhood. We have a private group on Facebook too. We would love to invite you in on if you, want to, I don't know how they do it. Like if they press invite or I don't know how that happens on the other end, but it's a private group off of Sorella Live, but we call it Sorella a Sorella, sister to sister, because we're creating a sisterhood and we want you to be a part of it too. Yes. I love my sister. She says, life can be messy, so why do it alone, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep. So we definitely want those that are listening, please look that group up. It's a private group. Sorella a Sorella, but if you want to just say it, Sorella a Sorella.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's a fun group. But then again, on Facebook, we also have Sorella Live, where every Tuesday we're on and we're doing our shows live.
We love to find, exciting topics that are relevant to the women today. We interview people. Pamela was actually on our show once.
Yes, that was fun.
We like to interview people who are making a difference and are really tapped into their God-given gifts so that it affects the world around them. And we want to promote that and put it out there so that other women who are living their everyday lives are able to come in contact with that gift. We pray that, and this is what we believe, that the word that we speak goes out to countries and even it doesn't even have to be countries. It can be like alleys, if you think of it that way. Dark places where women are hiding and would
The
never be
hidden
able
ones.
to.
Yes. Elisa, you
Yeah.
said that, and I love that statement. She said that God would bring the hidden ones out.
Yes.
Those that may be hidden in a country, like you were saying before, Elisa,
Yeah.
where women aren't allowed to speak out loud.
Right.
But then again, there are women who are hidden because they're just insecure and they're at home and they're lonely and they have no friends and they don't believe in themselves.
They
The
may
word
even,
hidden can really mean so many different avenues. Go ahead,
that's
Elisa.
right. I
Keep
know.
sharing
I
that.
was just saying, like, it could even be a controlling situation. They may be a
Yes.
woman who is controlled by her husband and doesn't have any friends, who might be in a physically abusive situation. It could be a woman who is dealing with high level anxiety and is afraid to leave her home. It could be a woman who is in another country and they're suppressed. I mean, there's just so many stories of women who are in hiding in some form or another, in the back
It's
alleys,
true.
hiding. But with the internet and just a simple technology like the phone, they can get the word of God to them and the gifts of others that we have on the show. Like we
Yes.
just had Reverend Jim Hockaday on, and he spoke on healing, and he had some powerful words of knowledge for people that were listening. And we know that reached women and they were set free.
Yes. Yes. So good. But that is definitely, I think, what God has put on our hearts is just to draw women, bring them into the sisterhood,
Yes.
speak into their lives, cheer them on, promote them, and push them forward, helping them to believe in themselves, because so
Right.
many women don't believe in themselves. So many women have people, outside voices, speaking into their life and telling them that they can't do it, when in reality, God has equipped them with everything that they need, with all the giftings inside, and all they need are a couple of ladies that say, hey, we believe in you. Go, do. We're cheering you on. We're over here cheering you on because we believe in you.
Right.
And God will use them. And that doesn't even necessarily mean full-time ministry.
No,
We're
we can
all
use it in
called to do
marketplace.
something different. Homeschooling moms, or like women that are working in the office, or we work from home, or someone may work at daycare, maybe a nurse wants to be a doctor. I mean, there's so many different avenues, but because people tell them that they can't, they don't. And that's what we're here for, to push them forward and cause them to believe in themselves, to embrace themselves, and then to launch forward and live out loud, loving themselves for who they are. Right?
Yeah.
We all look different. We all have different personalities. No one is the same. No one should be put in a box that we have to talk a certain
Right.
way, or walk a certain way, or look a certain way. Let's just be ourselves and cheer each other on, believing in one another, and then watching God.
That's really
Godly.
what sisterhood is.
Yes.
That's what sisterhood is.
Yes.
When is your show?
Godly.
It's Tuesday nights live on Facebook. Tuesday nights 9:30 Eastern time, and then 8:30 Central time, and then
Central. Yes.
7:30 Mountain time, and 6:30 California time.
That was good. You did good. I wouldn't have remembered that.
That is awesome. And you know what? You can set a timer. I was telling Laila that I have a timer on my phone that goes off at 8:20 p.m. every Tuesday night, and it pops up and it says Sorella. So I remember, because we get so busy, but I look forward to tuning in every week to the both of you, whether I am driving. A lot of times I'm driving, picking up my son at the end of his work shift, or if it's been a late night, I might be finishing up dinner,
right,
or whatever. It's just, but I look so forward to it. It's so refreshing.
Thank
you.
It's just such a beautiful atmosphere where women can just be women. And even though I'm not in the same room, it feels like I'm in the same room. I've come to say it's the Zoom room. And I know that there's other vehicles to use other than Zoom, but Zoom rooms have become a reality.
Yes.
And to connect with people across different
That's
states
right.
and across even different cities It's so refreshing. And you ladies do a beautiful job of speaking inspiration and empowerment, but also balancing it with joy and fun,
Thank
because
you.
we all need to do
Thank
that. And I
you.
think sometimes women forget to have fun. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I do.
You know,
You know?
my sister is a queen of fun. I have told her this over and over again. I forgot how much fun she is. And when we get together, she's got me laughing all the time. Sometimes I feel like I get into a funk, but when I'm with her, I feel fun and silly and I just want to be a girl and have a good time.
Yeah.
But that's what sisterhood should be. Let her hair
That's
down
it.
and have a good laugh, right?
Right.
Right.
Bring out and to be able to laugh at yourself, we can't take ourselves so seriously. And when you give people that feeling of being so stiff and like, everything has to be perfect,
Right.
then they're not welcomed in, because nobody is perfect. So they're always going to say, well, I don't belong there because I'm not perfect.
Right.
We're not perfect. And
We're
we
not
make sure
perfect.
we know,
And you belong with us.
you belong with us. That's
Oh,
You all do
goodness.
such a beautiful job of that, like sharing the high points, sharing the funnies, sharing things and like, oh my gosh, this happened. And yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
And that
Thank
is
you.
what I so appreciate about, I mean, there's so much about your show I appreciate, but I get such a kick out of your stories when you're telling things about one of you was talking about eating too much on, I don't remember. Oh, it was about what's an Easter thing that you guys had made. And you were like, oh, I've ate too much of that. And then one of you was talking about chocolate and how you were going to try to hide it from yourself. And
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking, I couldn't, I can't hide it from myself. I'd find it. but just those simple things, I think brings us all on that same level
Right.
where then we can laugh and we can let our hair down, as you said, and just be the sisters and hang out together. And then we can kind of peel back those layers and talk about those deeper things
Yeah.
and
Yes.
encourage and inspire. And you both do that so
true.
well and bring on
Thank you.
awesome guests. And yeah, it's so huge.
Pamela
Well, I
Hinkle
wanted-
is the founder of the Purpose Center. Pamela is a mindset mentor, author, speaker, minister, and transformation coach. Her weekly podcast, international radio show, and television show are a lifeline that changes lives and inspires people to discover their individual potential through realizing their purpose by design. Pamela is a natural motivator and has shown many how to find their niche and transform their lives. Although success is an uphill battle, Pamela gives the necessary strategies to flourish, cheering you on every step of the way. Pamela shares from her personal experiences, education, and life as a woman in leadership, utilizing decades of knowledge. Taking the approach of, let's have coffee and chat, she will awaken your dreams and purpose by design. Are you ready for Pamela to help guide you? Email us at purposewpamela.office@gmail.com or go to her website at purposewithpamela.com.
Huge. Well, I wanted to ask you, what do you think women, what they need right now? Now, we've sort of talked about that a little bit, but I really just wanted to hone in on this because it's really a huge part of what you guys are offering. What do women need right now?
Lee, go ahead. I'll share after you then.
No, you go ahead first.
Okay.
I would say right now people need two things. Women need hope and community.
So good.
Especially coming out of the pandemic, we've lost our way a little bit. Even before that, I'm sure women were struggling, but more than ever with the pandemic and losing our go-tos and our sure things, things that are going to happen each day, and
Yes.
losing our routine and even our comfort levels as moms, okay, well, the kids are going to be at school during this time to this time, so I have this window of opportunity to do yada yada yada. We just all of that went out the window. And when there is a shift like that, we've lost part of ourselves, we lose hope. And so that is the main thing that I feel like women really need right now is hope, and they need community, because no man can do this by themselves.
Exactly.
We couldn't do it before by ourselves, but even now more than ever, it's like there are some states that are still shut down. There are some countries. I mean, we have a girlfriend that's in Ireland and they're so shut down. And so
Wow.
this is like this is like a light bulb for her,
It
like
is. Yes.
something that just to look forward to, or our community online. She is
And
always
to feel
commenting
like
on.
with other people. Yes.
Yes, and it's just a community. We need community. We are human beings, and we can't do life alone. But the
Right.
important part is to do it with people who are like-minded,
Yes.
and who are going to feed hope and not discouragement.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Exactly. That was good, Lee. So good. That's so true. And maybe one more thing, to just feel that people believe in them.
Yes.
To that women need to feel like they're believed in.
Yes.
A lot of times, and I feel like so many women deal with insecurities. I think every woman does
Yes.
some form of insecurity.
Yes.
But knowing that you have a community of other women who believe in you, who are going to stand with you and cheer you on, and even if you make a mistake, will still be there waiting for you
Yes.
to pick you up and help move you forward. Women need that. There's too many people that are just naysayers and just want to say things about you and cause people to believe the worst in you. But when hey, I got my sisterhood standing behind me. They're with me. They believe in me. I may have made a mistake. They're still cheering me on and they love me regardless.
Yeah.
I think that helps every woman move forward with more confidence because they know, right? They know that they're loved and accepted no matter what.
They've got someone in their corner cheering them on. And
yes.
Yeah, I think that is so vital. Something we say often is you can't face if you're going into the ocean, right? And you're going to hit the waves by yourself, you'll get knocked over. But if you imagine yourself linking arms with a line of other women,
ooh, that's
chances
good.
of you getting knocked over have now gone down significantly.
So good. I love that.
And so we link arms with other women.
Yes.
We cheer them on. We go onto their Instagram pages and we say, way to go. You look beautiful. That's amazing. I love what you're doing. We go onto their Facebook pages and we encourage them. They go on to Sorella and we talk about things. Sometimes it's silly stuff, but sometimes it's, I just posted something like, hey, did you get your yearly mammogram? Because guess what? It's important, And sometimes
seriously, it is.
Sometimes you need your sister to say, knock, knock. That's something you need to get done. Don't put
it
off,
So good, Lee. That was a great reminder, truly, because a lot of those women were asking questions. Like, what age do I start?
Not
all
sure
of that.
to start. Yeah.
Yes. And again, you're willing to go there. Like there's other groups that probably wouldn't dare say, hey, I went and got my mammogram. But
we've done it all. We've actually posted videos when we're getting facials and our hair done. And
yeah.
In fact, one time you posted a video and you were having, it was a facial, but it was the one where they're using it's the water with the vacuum. And they were doing
the
hydrofacial. And there you were, you had that thing up on your head, covering your hair, and then you were recording and you were talking all about it. And the person who was doing the service was kind of chuckling while you were doing that. And there you were just for a few minutes, but I just loved it. I got such a kick out of it. And I was like, I need to go do one of those.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, it's so perfect. Well, here's another question for you. I fully believe that we are in the time and season where it's women are rising. And whether or not whether or not I'm not a political person, but the fact that there is a woman in the White House, even though she's in a vice president position, I believe is transcending the fact of what's happening for women right now. So this is not a political question or anything like that. But it's a sign of the times. Women are rising everywhere in all different scenarios and circles, right? And so it's, again, just perfect timing. I believe divine timing that Sorella Live is here now. And as women are arising everywhere, and you two are encouraging the women to arise, I know that myself included, women are looking at the two of you. and that you're leading the way, because you're not asking them to do anything that you're not already doing. You're already doing it. You're already stepping out. You're already Sorella Live. So knowing that you are the sisters that are kind of plowing for some of us, and that others are looking to you and saying, if they can do it, I can do it. What does that mean to you personally?
You answer first this time.
All right. Well, we don't take the responsibility lightly.
No.
And we've spoken about powerful women so many times on our show. I feel like for such a time as this,
So good.
we are history makers, but we were saying her story makers.
Yes.
It's her story. We all have a story. And so what we're doing is we're trying to get these women to believe in themselves and take their story and share it and be a blessing to other people. God will use each and every one of us. And that's what we want to remind the women of. Like the simple Jewish orphan Hadassah, which I happen to love that name. I have to say it every time. I love her. But the story of Hadassah, where God could take a Jewish orphan and give her favor and promote her, causing her to become the queen of Persia, Queen Esther. He can do whatever with us if our hearts are open and we're willing. And, look at Elisa and I. We're not perfect, but God is using us with, Sorella Live and launching us to touch the lives of people. And we're hearing stories. Sometimes we're like, whoa, can't believe it, where people are reaching out and sharing things with us. But that's what it's all about for such a time as this. Ladies, rise up, launch forward, and let God use you, because God has equipped you. I don't want to keep going. Elisa, go ahead and share.
That's good. It's so empowering. It's so empowering. And that's really at the heart of who Laila and I are. I mean, we really do believe it is for such a time as this.
Yes.
And there's so many ways that is applicable. Pamela, I love that you mentioned the vice president right now being a woman. That's something to celebrate. It is a glass ceiling that has been shattered, whether you voted for her or not. The reality is that God is making a way and giving women a voice in this season.
Yes.
And raising up many women from all walks of life. And no longer is it, oh, you had a baby out of pregnancy, disqualified. Oh, you were divorced, disqualified. Oh, you blah, blah, blah.
Preach, Lee, preach. That's
no
right.
more of that. Now it's
That's
God
right.
saying, let me remind you of the blood that was shed for you.
Yes.
And let me remind you of whose you are.
Woo!
You are mine, and you are chosen for this time. So you're going to step up. And we just want to cheer women on in this and say, God has equipped you. He has called you. And what you feel like you're not equipped in, he will fill in the blanks. And that's what he wants anyway. He doesn't want to call those who are already self-reliant. He is waiting on those that are saying, I need him to do the next step. But God is really raising up women. I'm currently reading a book with my daughter, and she just asked me again today. I love that book, Mama. Let's read it again.
Aww.
It's 50 stories of amazing women from like all through history, basically. Joan of Arc. And last night we read about Ruby, and I can't remember her name, but it's a little girl named Ruby, a little black girl who everybody knows the story. She was the first little girl who went into a white school. And every single day she faced crowds who would throw names at her, mock her, threaten her and her family. They had to have police escorting her into the school. And even when she went to school, the parents would not allow their children to be in the same classroom as her because she had brown skin. So there's one teacher that taught her alone in a classroom for the whole year. She didn't whine. She didn't complain. She was brave. And we talked about it last night. She was courageous. And and then from that point on, we talk about segregation, and we say, isn't it silly that we would separate based on the shade of our skin? When God did it on purpose, he made us beautiful on purpose. And
that's right.
And so we talk about that. And then we talked about, who was it? Someone else last night we talked about, wasn't Mother Teresa? It was, I can't remember now, but Elizabeth Elliott's in there. And Christine Kane is in there, and the young girl who got her arm bit off by a shark, but she's preaching the gospel. I forget her name. Yes. Women that I never even heard of. There's a woman who went to India, and she was a medical missionary doctor, and And then so many women, and I want my daughter to understand that it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your, what you have or haven't done. That when God calls you, He will equip you, and then you can
That's
walk
right.
boldly in it. And He's using us as women,
Yes.
So
Yes. It doesn't matter whether you're educated or not. It doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have.
right,
It doesn't matter what, ethnic background you're from.
right,
We were all created equally, and God loves us all equally. And He has invested into each and every one of us beautiful gifts, different gifts. We are all different from one another, but we can all stand up and rise up as women and cheer each other on and do things. I may be called to do something different than you, Pamela, and Elisa, same thing, but we can all cheer each other on. There is no competition.
Yes.
You know,
right,
I'm not trying to be Elisa. I'm not trying to be Pamela. I just want to be Laila and say, hey, God, what is it that you have for me? And I'll give it 100%.
yes,
And then you girls will be behind me saying, go ahead, Lai, woo, you can do it. That's the way it should be.
right,
And talking about different ethnic backgrounds, that is the heart Elisa and I have had growing up. We have always loved the different ethnic backgrounds, sitting on Grandma's porch. I'll never forget it in Brooklyn and watching different people walk by. I loved it. And we're getting to know people from different ethnic backgrounds, and the love they have for their family, and their, the traditions for foods and different, holidays, the different foods that they brought out. Our family, we grew up Italian Norwegian, very, very strong. But then, my sister married, he's Serbian, correct?
Macedonian.
Well, all right, let's just say Macedonian. And then my brother also married a woman who's Serbian.
Yeah.
They were all Yugoslavian, basically, at one time.
There you go. Yeah.
So Yugoslavian, but they have different ways of celebrating the holidays. And so we implemented that into our family.
Yeah.
And now I married a German, and my son married a German, and my nephew married a German here in Minnesota. So now we've taken those traditions and we've implemented those into the family. So it's just so much fun seeing the way people celebrate, the way they dress, the way they speak, their languages are music to my ears. I just love it. It's just, and that's the way it should be.
It's a celebration.
It's a celebration. It's just, and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. And you both bring that really, you bring it onto Sorella Live.
Oh, thank
you.
You really do. It feels just like that. I can envision Grandma's porch when you were talking about it. I can envision it and see it. And you guys bring that with you.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. A couple more quick questions for you. From your unique perspective, what does purpose by design mean to you?
Godly.
All right. So, it's just the DNA of God. He imprints it inside of us. He specifically chooses your DNA. It's from Him, and we are created in His image. And He picks and chooses the specific parts of Him that He wants to reflect in us. And so He designs us specifically. It's a purposeful design.
Yes.
And if we can tap into that, if we can recognize and celebrate the things that we love, it doesn't even have to be just one thing. I play the piano, but does that mean that I'm just a pianist? I sing. Does that mean I'm just a singer and I should get rid of the piano? No. I love to sketch stuff. Does that mean I should, do that full time and forget, or just tell everybody that's just what I do? I don't do anything else. No. He's made us in such a kaleidoscope to reflect Him, but He specifically chose these parts of our DNA from Him and dropped it in to our created being. Yes. So we want to recognize every part of that and cause it to flourish, because we were designed on purpose. And that's what I think purpose, that's what it means to me, purpose by design.
Yes, I agree. Purpose by design. That God also has a specific plan in mind when He created you. He designs you. Yep. He put a stamp of approval on you, and He has a specific purpose for your life and your life only, for you to walk out. And as you do that and trust in Him, His blessings will be upon your life.
Yes.
He will go before you and make the way. That is purpose with design.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so powerful. I love that. So here's some of the takeaways, because I have been taking notes.
Okay.
So I figured when I, as the host, it's a time for me to learn. So I'm always ready to take these notes. So these are some of the notes, everybody, that I'm taking away. These are takeaways or wins from this time together for me today. First one is, there is a pandemic praise.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes. And that, and right here, Sorella Live is a living example of
Yes.
one. And you said that you feel that women need hope and community.
Mhm.
And that is, I believe, so true. And so I wrote that down to remind myself that I need it.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
like we can get so focused on how can we create it for others,
Right.
but that I need it.
Yes.
So good.
Right?
Yes.
Oh man. And then Elisa, you were talking about, was it, I think it was you. If it wasn't, tell me, you can tell me if it wasn't. But one of you two were talking about linking arms and being in the ocean.
Elisa said that. Yeah.
And all I could picture was a human fence,
Mm.
just joined like elbow to elbow and
Yes. Yes.
unstoppable. And I remember a number of years ago, there was a human fence that in Israel, that the Israelis created a wall. They created an Israeli human fence in trying, and their purpose was trying to say where they felt that their boundaries should be. And there were forces at work that were trying to take boundaries from them, but they made this human fence to be a specific, to make a statement of their heartbeat. And I thought of that, and how we as women can join together and be like that human fence of
Yes.
hope and community, right?
Yeah.
And support for each other. And I loved her story makers. I love that. That
Yes.
is so good. And that God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And that, I think we all need that, because we can get so hung up and, oh, but this, and I have this wrong, and that wrong, or I'm too busy, or I'm not busy enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, my hair's the wrong color, I'm wrong size, I have the wrong upbringing. That wherever you are at, there is a purpose by design for you.
Yes.
And don't worry about how. Just start. Right.
Yes.
Right. Just start, like you ladies did. Like, okay, let's do this. And who cares if anybody shows up live? I mean, of course we want them to, but the point is that you start. Right.
That's right.
And,
Yes.
and, remember that line from that movie, if you build it, they will come.
Yes.
And it's true. It's true, isn't it? And then I love that the purpose by design is the DNA of God. Oh my gosh.
So good.
That is so beautiful. Well, is there anything else that you ladies have on your heart that you want to make sure that you share before we close our time?
Well, I just want to remind the ladies that God is smiling down on you today. So wherever you are, it makes me want to cry. Wherever you are today, and however you're feeling, if you're alone, you need to remember you're not alone.
That's
God
right.
is with you, and you have a sisterhood here that will embrace you and love on you and rejoice with you and speak into your life wherever you are. In the hidden places, do not hide any longer. Come out.
Yeah.
Come out and allow us to minister to you and speak into your life and push you forward into all that God has.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, so powerful. Elisa, did you want to add anything?
I just keep hearing in my heart, just adding to what Laila said, you are not forgotten.
Yes.
So if you feel alone, you are not forgotten. And there is a purpose by design created for you.
Yes. So beautiful.
Oh my gosh. I'm emotional. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Sorella sisters.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us. We love you.
It's been just
so good being on here with you.
Well, would you come back again in a few months and give us updates? And I don't know, share what all is happening and all of that.
Definitely.
Wonderful. And you're such an encouragement. So it would be so awesome to have you back again. Thank you for being here, ladies. It's
Thank
been
you for
such a
having us.
a treat.
We love you.
Oh, I
We
love you
do.
both so much. And we love you. To all of our viewers and listeners that are here today, remember, you are the salt and the light everywhere you go. Just
Amen.
remember that. And that you have a purpose by design, not by default. You're here on purpose with a purpose by design. Thank you for being here. Do us a favor, and would you please like and share, comment? Let's let the world know that they have a purpose by design. I always say purpose by design is a whole new world, and this world needs some newness, and you are
That's
a
right.
world changer. So let the
So good.
world know.
And
Thank
just one
you.
more thing for those that want to find us on Facebook, look for
Yes.
Sorella Live on Facebook, and on Instagram, look for Sorella.live. S as in Sam, ORELLA.live. Sorella Live.
Thank you for adding that, Laila. And all of it, viewers and listeners, is in the description. You'll be able to find everything, their website, all of it will be listed there for you. Thank you for being here. And thank you to the sisters for being here.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you. We'll see you all again real soon. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.